I've seen all the Best Picture nominees, so let's talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. What is it? Not sure an explanation is really needed, but just in case, it is a visually dazzling science fiction epic. It's the long-awaited sequel to the highest-grossing movie of all time, and it is now itself the third highest-grossing movie of all time. Who is it made by? Big Jim, the king of the world.
I'm the king of the world!
It's his first movie in 13 years, and only his third movie in 25 years, but those gaps have been paying off. Literally, as those three movies make up 3/4 of the top all-time box office. I feel like it's pretty well understood that Cameron's at a point in his life where he doesn't seem too interested in making movies just for the sake of making movies, and he only does so to either fund his true passion, which is deep-sea diving, or when he has an entirely new technology to play around with, to expand the form. And I love that for him. Sounds great. How has it been received? $660 million in domestic box office, which is good for 9th all time. $2.2 billion in worldwide box office, which is again good for 3rd all time. Awards-wise, it's kind of getting the Two Towers treatment. If you know, you know, but if you don't, that's okay, because I'll explain it in future TikToks. But suffice to say, it's nominated for Best Picture and for 3 below-the-line awards: Best Sound, Best Production Design, and Best Visual Effects. Given that it's getting the Two Towers treatment, it's certainly not winning Best Picture, and it might win like 1 or 2 of its other awards, but don't be surprised if Avatar 3 wins Best Picture in 2 years. You heard it here first. Who would like this? Lovers of cinema, say what you will about the Avatar movies, they're doing things no other movie is doing. They are expanding the form, whether that means motion capture or 3D technology or incorporating live action elements in CG environments. They are expanding the form, and anyone who loves cinema should be excited by that. Wet freaks like Big Jim. Big Jim loves the ocean more than anything. That's why he made Titanic. He just wanted to go on some deep sea explorations, and in order to get 20th Century Fox to pay for his explorations, in exchange, he made the then highest grossing movie of all time for them. So it's not really a surprise to anyone that he's back in the water here. And the underwater sequences are insanely cool. So if you're a wethead like Big Jim, you'll love this. Patient people. If you have the patience to wait 13 years between installments in a movie franchise, it's worth the wait. The payoff is worth the wait. More in part 2. I've seen all the Best Picture nominees, so let's talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. I completely understand people who say, what's the big deal? I completely understand. From a distance, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot to these movies. So like, how did these two movies combine for $5.1 billion and are now the first and third highest grossing movies of all time? Even though The Way of Water doesn't have like the reductive shortcut that people use to dismiss the first movie, you know, Pocahontas in space, Dances with Wolves in space, I get it. It's an indigenous population encountering an invading military force. Congratulations on your media literacy 101. I'm so happy for you. Even though The Way of Water doesn't have an equivalent reductive shortcut, even so, I get it. I get your what's the big deal question. Notably, I didn't see the first Avatar in theaters. I saw it on DVD after the fact. And I too was like, this is good, but like, what's the big deal? I didn't get it. I saw Avatar in theaters in 3D when it was re-released in September, and I started to get it. For The Way of Water, I was there opening night, 3rd row, IMAX 3D, and I fucking got it. I got it. When you experience this the way the filmmakers intended, with the big crowd on an enormous screen, with the latest and greatest in 3D technology or whatever, you'll get it too. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's an experience. I feel like we get so few honest-to-God theatrical experiences in our lifetimes, and this is one of those experiences. But the thing about The Way of Water is that even setting aside the technological aspect and the experience aspect, it plays. The movie plays. I think it plays a lot better than the first movie. James Cameron has never really been known for his screenwriting, and like, yeah, the dialogue is fine, the micro screenwriting is fine, but the macro screenwriting, the structure stuff, the setup and payoff stuff, the big picture stuff, no one does it better.
Let's get it done.
With that in mind, no spoilers, but you'll know when you see it, when the dude's arm comes off, I almost jumped out of my seat in the theater. I was so pumped. The last hour of this movie is one long extended battle slash action set piece. And that is Cameron's bread and butter. And it plays. It really plays. Cameron's throwing out everything that's ever worked in his movies, including like the exosuit fight in Aliens and the ship sinking in Titanic. Like, all that shows up in varying degrees in the final hour here, and it fucking rules. God bless Big Jim. I can't wait for Avatar 3. I've seen all the Best Picture nominees, so let's talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. Awards-wise, it's kind of getting the Two Towers treatment. If you know, you know. The Lord of the Rings movies were all filmed simultaneously. It's part of one 15-month-long, $300 million production. And then they were released one after the other in 3 consecutive Decembers. The Fellowship of the Ring got 13 Oscar nominations, but only won 4, and they were all below the line. Two Towers was nominated for only 6, and it only won 2. Again, both below the line. Return of the King won 11 Oscars, which was a record that still stands. The floodgates opened when they stuck the landing, and it's understood that those Oscars were kind of like rewarding the 3 movies as a whole. So the Academy kind of treated the 3 movies like this. First movie, wow, this new thing we're seeing for the first time is so incredible. You get all the nominations, but you're not going to win anything substantial until we see the rest of it. Second movie, this is progressing along, but it's not new anymore, and it's still incomplete, so you'll get a few nominations, but we'll see. Third movie, wow, this 3-movie story is legitimately one of the greatest achievements in film history, so here's Best Picture and an Oscar record to acknowledge your accomplishment in totality. All that said, keep in mind that Avatar 3 is in the can. They filmed it simultaneously with The Way of Water, and it is for sure coming out in 22 months. And from what I hear, Avatar 3 has like an ending. It ends this 3-film arc. Avatar 4 and Avatar 5 are possibilities, if not eventualities, but I think like they're kind of resets and or tangents in the same universe. And so the current Avatar storyline will end with movie 3. So with the knowledge that Avatar 3 is coming and the knowledge of how the Lord of the Rings movies were treated at the Oscars, keep in mind that the first Avatar movie was nominated for 9 Oscars, but only won 3, all below the line. The Way of Water is nominated for only 4 Oscars, and the 3 non-Best Picture nominations are all below the line. If they stick the landing, get ready for Avatar 3 to clean the fuck up at the Oscars. But don't expect The Way of Water to win much, just like The Two Towers didn't win much.